to the 2025 edition of Undergraduate New Student Orientation, hosted by the Faculty of Science and Technology, or FST as you would soon come to know it. I am Gerald Alda, Manager of Student Engagement within the Division of Student Services and Development. And as always, it is my absolute pleasure to share in this first year experience with you and to thank you on behalf of our campus community for making us at the UWI St. Augustine campus your choice to have your university experience. Incoming UWI St. Augustine Pelicans, today you have the opportunity of connecting with your new and very dynamic university family at the FST as your faculty dean, deputy deans, heads of department, lecturers, administrators, and support staff, the faculty have all come together today to warmly welcome you, to meet your informational needs, and to support your social integration into the esteemed Faculty of Science and Technology. And so incoming students, I think that this is something that we should definitely show some appreciation for. So please feel free to take to the chat and share your excitement with us. Let us know which part of the country you're viewing from, or the region, or even the world. We are happy to hear from you. And so we invite you as well to share with us which program you're pursuing at the FSC, as we would love to hear from you. Faculty orientation is indeed an important component of our campus's first year experience program. And as with all FY events and initiatives, you are encouraged to make the absolute most of today's session by being attentive, by being interactive, taking notes as you go along, asking the right questions at the appropriate time, engaging in active listening, and being intentional about your preparedness for success in your first year of study with us at the UWI St. Augustine. To guide you through today's session, it is my absolute pleasure to introduce and welcome Senior Lecturer and Deputy Dean for Undergraduate Student Matters at the Faculty of Science and Technology, Dr. Denise Beckles. Dr. Beckles, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Alda, and let me second the welcome to everyone. We are so pleased to have you here with us today. Take a deep breath. Holiday is almost done and classes almost about to start, but the work done start for us already. So because we have to prepare for you, and we are trying our best to make sure that your experience here with us at UWI St. Augustine, and in particular with the Faculty of Science and Technology, is 100% the best it can be. So I'm going to be spending a lot of time talking about a lot of administrative stuff. But before we get to that, we want to bring some greetings from our Dean, Professor Adesh Bag, who will be just saying hello, welcome, and all that good stuff. And then you'll see me back again. So, Professor Ramsford.
Thank you, Chair. I hope everyone is hearing me and seeing me. So good morning, students. I hope everyone is well. Let me first warmly welcome each and every one of you to the Faculty of Science and Technology. I know you are all excited and eager to begin your journey with us. And today marks the start of this important chapter in your new life. You are now a member of the FST, which is at the forefront of science, technology, and innovation in the Caribbean. As many of you all may know, the FST offers a wide range of programs, both undergraduate and postgraduate, in pure and applied sciences, all of which are modern, relevant, and comparable to those at leading universities worldwide. Our graduates are trained to think critically, solve complex problems, and make a meaningful contribution to their communities and countries. In the next few years, you will have the opportunity to engage in hands-on projects, research activities, and collaborations that bridge classroom knowledge with real-life applications. You will be supported by a dedicated team of lecturers, of researchers, staff that are here to guide and mentor you and challenge you even to achieve your full potential. My advice is simple: be curious, proactive, and embrace every opportunity to learn, both inside and outside the classroom. Get involved in student clubs, research initiatives, and outreach activities. Build strong connections with your peers and lecturers. Your network here will be one of your greatest assets. We are proud that you are joining us, and I look forward to seeing the remarkable things you will achieve and accomplish during your time here with us and beyond. Thank you, and I look forward to meeting all of you all in person later this month on the 29th of August. And I pass you all now to Dr. Bickles. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. And a lot of very good advice there in a very concise package. Hope I can do the same. Right now, I would like to invite our Mr. Sanya James, FST, who is FST Media, to show a brief video, a welcome video from the FST Guild representatives and the who basically are your liaison between yourselves as students and the administration. So they would like to welcome you as well. So please do roll the video.
Welcoming incoming students to the best faculty, the Faculty of Science
and Technology.
We are the FST Student Society, the official body that represents you, your interests, and advocate for your academic needs, support your well-being, and contribute to your campus experience.
Being a part of FST means more than just attending classes. It's about feeling supported, seen, and valued as a student.
We're here to help you navigate your campus experience, from our academic advocacy to our support initiatives. Events like FST Cafe Nation, our FST pop-up shop, workshops, seminars, inter-faculty games, and so much more. We are here for you.
Throughout your degree, we'll make sure you're not just another student. You're now a part of a vibrant, unstoppable community, and we've got your back. This is where you'll find your people, build your future, and rep your Pelican pride. So, stay in the loop. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for updates, events, and everything FST.
Plug into the vibe, plug into support,
And plug into FST.
Thank you, Ms. James. Well, as you see, FSC students, we don't only spend time studying. These students are very vibrant and very energetic. So they are always on the lookout for additional vibrant and energetic people to join their team and help spread this joy of science throughout the faculty and in fact the country and the region as well. So let me jump straight in because I'm only spending a little bit of time with y'all today because we are going to be talking about a little bit about some of the things that are going to help you get yourself sorted as you move forward. Now, you may have a bunch of questions. Do kind of hold on to them a little bit because there's going to be probably quite a lot of the questions would already be answered during the presentation. But feel free, if you have a question, do put it in the chat. There are a bunch of people who are extremely knowledgeable about their, we have representatives from each faculty who are very knowledgeable about the programs, the courses, as well as persons from the FSC Dean's Office, very knowledgeable about administrative stuff as well. I see your president, your FSC Guild rep is putting his contact information, etc., in the chat. So be free to click there and join in that very vibrant organization. And I am going to jump straight in as welcome again, FSD. Now, I'm the Deputy Dean for Student Matters. My name is Denise Beckles, and my task is to ensure as much as possible that you get through your 3, sometimes 4, and sometimes more years here as smoothly as possible. Part of that means that you need to have information. All right? You need to be aware of what is available to you, how things work on the campus, and not just about the classes you're taking and things like that. That's important, but you can also be quite effectively derailed otherwise. One of the things the first thing I want to start with is to talk about your degree. you would have chosen something from when you were in your application, you got offered something, you accepted it, and here you are. But this faculty is has one of the most flexible opportunities for degrees, and I want to make sure you're clear on what your degrees looks like so that you can make the most of it. First of all, the degree has their degree structure, and this is what governs FSC, where you have a Bachelor of Science in what people will say a general. That is when you have people talking about majors and minors. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. And then we also offer special options. Right? So if you have a special after the name of your program on your offer letter, you're a special option. If you don't, you are general. All right. So what are some of the programs? What are the programs that we offer? The majors are in bold, minors are not. So you have as you see, a wide variety. I don't know, maybe y'all can put in the chat what your programs are. So we have things chemistry, industrial chemistry, maths, statistics, computer science, IT, physics, electronics, biology, biochemistry, environmental science, and then an even wider variety of minors like materials chemistry, computer science, environmental physics, medical physics and bioengineering, biochemistry, right? Long list there. So there's a lot of variety that you can choose from that you would have already looked at to even be here, but just bear in mind that the program allows you to have a lot of flexibility. So the structure of a general degree, I'm going to start with those, where you have introductory level or level 1 courses. These are the ones you're going to be doing now. You have advanced credits, high environmental, advanced level, 60 credits, foundation courses, 9 credits, and you have to have at least 93 credits total to graduate. Now I'm going to start by talking a bit about the BSc General. And as you see here, this gentleman is building his wall. He's choosing his bricks, his blocks, his pieces of stone carefully. He's putting it just where he wants. He's getting the wall exactly as he wants it. That is what the BSc General allows you to do. You get to build your own degree. Why do I say that? All right. So what your general or your BSc General degree is going to look like in the level 1, you are going to have introductory courses, which of course are the individual the smallest component of your program. All right, so you're going to be taking courses in biology and chemistry and maths and computer science, and the introductory ones are level 1. Right, the codes start with a 1. Now these courses build up to make your major, right? And for the level 1, you need 12 credits or 4 courses in your major. You will also have to have 12 others, all right? Now, what is a credit? Credit is the weighting that is given to a course, all right? And that's also how your courses are priced as well. It's usually per credit, right? So the larger the credit weighting of the course, the more it's going to cost and the more time it's going to take for you, more lectures, more labs, etc. Most of our courses are 3 credits in the FST. Now, in addition, we have foundation courses. All right, those are sort of that everybody has to take in FST, regardless of what your program you're doing. All right, there are a variety of courses of these foundations that you have to take, and you must do them all in order to graduate. Fairly recently, as about the last 2-3 years ago, we've also got this foreign language requirement that is now part of the program, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. I'm loving how many different people are in the chat telling us what they're going to be doing from next couple of weeks. Now, a little bit more about the foundations. All right, now there are 3 main foundations. Found 1101, Caribbean Civilization, Scientific and Technical Writing, and Law, Governance, Economy, and Society. So you can kind of see these courses are kind of like your communications and your Caribbean Studies courses you would have done in K. All right. Now the only thing with the 1101 and the 1301, you can do them anytime. 1105 is a little special. It has some pre-existing requirements before you'll be allowed to take it. And if depending on your situation, you may have to actually take a qualifying exam in order to do that course. So that qualifying exam is the English Language Proficiency Test, known as the ELPT. Now, in order to do 1105, you need to have one of these three things, either a communication studies grade 1 or 2 from CAPE, a general paper grade A or B from GCE, or CSEC general proficiency, that's your English language A, grade 1. If you have one of those, you can go ahead and do Form 1105, no problem. If you have none of them, you have to do the ELPT, all right? The next one is going to be in October sometime. I'm not too sure the exact date, but it's usually in October. And then that will be followed by February, next February. All right, so you can kind of keep an eye on the ELPT page from the Faculty of Humanities and Education website and kind of get an idea about when that's going to be if you need to take it. Because you have to pass that before you'll be able to take Form 1105. And do remember, Form 1105 is required. It's not chemistry or maths, but yes, you have to do it. All right. Now, as of 2023, 2024, we have the foreign language requirement where you'll see the FLR. These are these 4 courses, and you can choose any one that you would like to do if you need to do it. Not everyone has to do an FLR. So how do you know if you need to do the FLR or if you are exempt? The criteria are if you have any CSEC foreign language, grades 1 to 3, if you have a CAPE foreign language, grades 1 to 5, or if you are perhaps a native speaker of some foreign language or you have some other qualifications in a foreign language, you can be exempt. If you have one of these, you do not have to do the FLR courses. You will be exempt. What you will have to do is take Form 1101 as Caribbean Civilization. But what if you have none of these exemptions? You are going to be exempt from Form 1101 and you will have to take a foreign language course instead. All right? Bear in mind it's either or. So you're either taking FLR or you're doing Form 1101. You're not going to be doing both of them. Right? So depending on whether you have any foreign language background, you will be taking either 1105, 1301, and Form 1101, or 1105, 1301, and a foreign language course. All right? So that is good. So you will know what your foreign language background is and whether you are going to be having to do a foreign language course if you don't have that background, or if you do have the background, you're going to be doing Form 1101 instead. Now, important to note that even though these courses seem easy, they're not part of your program, they're not science courses. If you don't complete them, you will not be able to graduate from this university. So they are still as important as any FST course that you're going to be doing. All right, and they do hold people up sometimes. So you don't want to be that person. So what are we going? So that is level 1. So that is what your first year is going to be. You're going to be taking a total of at least 8 courses over the year in level 1, FST courses, as well as foundation and or foreign language course, as maybe. What happens after you've successfully navigated level 1? Now you're moving into level 2. All right. So those are what we call our advanced courses, and those are the courses that are really going to be making up the meat of your major. All right. You have to do 30 credits of these advanced courses. Those courses will have codes starting with a 2 or a 3. 30 credits works out at about 10 courses. Now, if we take a look at what the structure of the BSc degree was like before, you'll see you have to have 60 credits in advanced level courses. But as one major here is only 30. So what do you do to get the other 30 credits? And that is where the FST general degree is super flexible and allows you to create a degree that is completely tailored to you and your personal interests. So we need another 30 advanced credits. Where are those coming from? There's a variety of ways you could get those advanced courses. The first way and the least flexible way is to have a second major. All right. So you have a major, that's the one you came with, that's the one you applied for. You can add another. All right. And we'll talk about how you could do that later. Now, your major, your second major, does not have to be in FST. Your second major can be from quite a wide variety, from a wide variety of other faculties. So you can have an outer faculty major from food and agriculture, humanities and education, from social sciences. If you want to do that, you need official approval both from FSC and whichever relevant faculty, and you need to have this before you start. So that means before you get into level 2, all right? Because why that is that in some faculties, if you don't have the major on the books, if you're not officially in that major, you can't take specific courses. So you need to have that approval to add the major before you start. So you would apply at the end of your first year and before the start of year 1 to add a second major. If you want to add a major from FSC, so you're doing maths and you want to add on chemistry, you don't have to do all that. It's very easy to do. You can handle that yourself without going through all of this. Now, that is the first way, to have 2 majors. Why I say that's the least flexible is because a major is pretty fixed set of courses. So you don't have a lot of leeway in choosing what courses you want to take. Apart from once you decide you want to do the major, oftentimes you don't have much flexibility after that. You have a pretty straight road in what courses you have to take. The second approach to make up those second 30 set, that other 30 credits, because we still have our major courses on the left-hand side. You can instead instead of doing one whole major, you can do 2 minors. A minor is a smaller group of courses that give you a taste of a different subject area. A minor is only 15 credits, so you don't have the same level of depth of understanding that you would if you'd had a major in that material, but it still gives you enough meat so that you can operate with some intelligence if you need to go out there in the future and use this in your employment, all right, or your career. So you can have 2 minors to make up that extra 30 credits. Now, minors can be, as we saw at the beginning, FSC has a wide variety of minors. So you can choose any of those that you're eligible to do. In addition, however, just like you can do an outer faculty major, you can also do outer faculty minors. So you don't have to do a minor in FSC only if you find something you find interesting elsewhere. Again, you will still need to have official approval both from FSC and the relevant faculty, but you don't do that application now, all right? You do this at the start of your final semester. Why that is that most of the time, the other faculties do not want to be a lot of back and forth with changing, so they want to make sure that you are committed to the minor before they approve that you change it, right? So if you want to do a minor in management studies, you pretty much have to finish all the courses from the minor before you can apply to add it. Because you can apply anytime, of course, but they will not approve it until you've pretty much done all of the courses, right? So for FSC minors, you can apply to add them in your second year at your start, but with the outer faculty ones, they're going to make you wait a little bit longer. So that's the second way. You could have a minor, you could have your major and 2 minors. If you want to increase the flexibility even further, you can add on 1 minor and 5 electives. And an elective is a course that you take just because you want to, right? And this is why I say you can tailor this program to fit you exactly as you wish. So maybe you don't see 2 minors that you find interesting or exciting. By all means, choose an elective. So have 1 minor and then choose 5 courses that you like. Maybe choose courses that you have interest in. Are you interested in photography? Are you interested in film? Are you interested in women's studies? Are you interested in politics? You can find elective courses that you can take almost anywhere in the university, and that can go towards your chemistry degree, your biology degree as well. It is an extremely powerful option because you're not restricted just to one faculty. Because these electives, of course, they can come from FST, but they can also come from outside as well. The only thing about electives is they must be level 2 or level 3, right? So they must have a 2, the codes must have a 2 or a 3 in front of that. Otherwise, they will not count for this purpose. If you want to be as the most flexible of all, you can just have only 30 credits of electives, which means you can choose those 10 advanced courses however you wish, however you like, in whatever way you want. All right. So the general degree does allow for a great variety, a lot of flexibility. Now, that is not the only type of degree we offer. We offer a special degree, and I call it the pre-built degree because it pretty much comes as is and you do it. All right. So what does that one look like? We have programs in chemistry and management. We have specials in computer science, IT, computer science with management, software engineering, mathematics, actuarial science, statistics and economics, environmental science and sustainable technology, we all know and love as ESST, and biomedical technology. So these are our special degree options. These tend to be a lot more in-depth than the majors because you will basically be doing 60 credits in your major or in your program, as opposed to a major where you do 30 credits and then you do 30 in some other major, some other activity. Special options tend to be very sort of focused and intense. They're different in their function, but of course, one is not better than the other. It just depends on what you would like to do. So, for example, if you want to be an actuary, you have no options. You have to do actuarial science, right? Or maybe I guess mathematics for sure. But that's the idea, right? So it will depend on your own personal interest and what you would like to see yourself doing 10 years from now. A little bit of information about the credits. One course is in FSC is usually 3 credits. As a full-time level 1 student, you would be expected to read 12 to 15 credits, that is 4 to 5 courses every semester. And full-time level 2 and 3 students, not you, but you next year, you will be expected to read between 12 and 16 credits every semester. Part-time students are allowed to read a maximum of 9 credits. Just a note for part-time, if any of you are part-time, just a point to note, part-time in FST does not mean evening. We don't offer evening courses. So part-time just means that your course load is less. But you would still be expected to attend classes and whatnot during the regular workday. So it's an important point to note. Now, I'm going to beat my horn and whatnot, that you should read your faculty booklet. This is last year's own. There will be a new one this year. But it's really important because this basically is going to be your contract with the FSC and the UE, right? So the regulations that are in that booklet that is going to be for 25, 26, that is what's going to be controlling your program or structuring your program, right? So whatever requirements are there in the 25, 26 booklet, that's what you have to do. I just had a situation fairly recently where a student was having a problem with graduation because she was not able to meet the requirements that were for her booklet that were present when she started. And so she had to do a lot of backing and forthing and bending into a pretzel in order to allow her to graduate with this year's regulation. So you don't want to be that person. Be familiar with what you need to do. And of course, this booklet has all the regulations, all right? What are entry requirements? What are the program requirements for your degree? What courses you need to take? The staff throughout the faculty, their contact information, who they are, and other very useful information. All right. Now, I don't expect you to read it like a novel, but if you have a question, the first place you should go is your faculty booklet. It's available online. All right. We don't print these things anymore, but they're easy to get. And I'm going to beat that horn again or beat that drum again. If you don't read any other part of the booklet, section 4, faculty regulations, because what you don't know can hurt you a lot. All right. You need to be familiar with what are the rules that apply to you so that you will know what to do if and when you have some trauma. All right, because it will happen. Trauma happens. So things like what happens if you're ill and you miss an exam? What if I do poorly in 1 semester or 2 semesters? What if I haven't finished after 4 years have passed? What if I don't register this year or for this semester? What if I don't register for the whole year? What happens to me? Many times that students show up as if, yeah, I'm ready to go again. I'm like, hello. You know, you need to be aware, right? Because this is your career, your degree, not mine, not anybody else's. All right. So we are here to help you, but I'm going to go home and go to bed and sleep well regardless. All right. So you need to make sure you are as aware as possible. And the faculty booklet is going to help you do that. The faculty booklet, and if you don't understand or don't find information you need, ask a question. All right? Ask a question. That is what the Dean's Office is for. That is what the Student Services section here is for, to help you. That's what your departments are for, is to help you if you don't understand something. Not just studies, but administrative things too. Because if small problems that are easily fixed at the start grow into, like almost like medical problems, grow into monsters that require sometimes intervention from the university board for undergraduate studies to get resolved. When if you had come at the start, it may just have been something that I could handle or the dean could handle, right? So don't wait. It's not going to go away. It's not going to get better, right? So ask a question so you can get the help you need. Now, I'm going to just give you a little information about the GPA system because GPA is going to be like, that's going to control your life for the next 3 years, right? GPA means grade point average, and that is how the university sort of calculates the sort of how well you do in your degree, all right? So, you do a course, you get a grade, you get a mark in your overall course mark, you get a grade, and that mark is attached to a grade. Pretty straightforward stuff. You're accustomed to that from high school. But each grade has attached to it a quality point. And as you see, the higher the grade, the higher the quality points. All right? And obviously, you want to have the highest possible. So you want the highest quality points possible. So how do we get from the grade to the GPA? Grade points are the number of credits in the course times the quality points. And then the average is total grade points by credits attempted. That probably went, but that's okay. We are scientists, so we'll do a sample problem, right? So you're doing 3 courses. Each of these courses has 3 credits, and you have different grades. Depending on the grade you get, that course will have a specific number of quality points. You have an A+ in Bio 1262, you have 4.3 for that course in quality points. If you get an F1, which is a failing grade in Math 1115, your quality points is 1.7. To get the grade points, you multiply the credit weighted by the quality points. So as you see in the NatLabs column, the better your grade, the higher the grade points are going to be. To get your GPA, your grade point average now, you add up all those grade points. So the 12.9 plus the 6 plus the 5.1 and divide it by the total number of credits you did in the semester. Not the total number of credits you passed, total number of credits you tried. So in this example, it would be 9 underneath. And so your GPA is going to be 2.67, which is a reasonable GPA. All right? So that is how your GPA is calculated. This is going to control a wide variety of your life in the program. So it's important you know or familiar with how that is done. Now, a little bit of vocabulary. You will see on your transcript, and people will talk about different types of GPA. We have 3 types of GPA. We have the semester GPA, which is the GPA from all the courses you take in 1 semester. So for your so at the end of each semester, you get a semester GPA. The next kind of GPA you can recalculate, and you'll see on your transcript, is your degree GPA, which is also known as the honors GPA. That is the GPA that you get from all the advanced courses that you take, levels 2 and 3, right? This determines what class of honors you get, whether you get first class, upper second, lower second pass, right? But you'll notice it doesn't include level 1 because we are aware that first year is a transition time, and people sometimes take a little getting a little used to the university process, and sometimes they don't do as well as they can in their first year. So just from trying to get themselves oriented. So for the degree GPA, we only look at your advanced courses, which starts happening from your second year. And your cumulative GPA is your GPA from all attempted courses. So your entire career up until that point, right? So what you'll see at the end of each semester, each year, there'll be a cumulative. So after year 1, your cumulative GPA will be this. After year 2, it will be what was for year 1 plus what was for year 2. After year 3, it will be, right? So that's how it goes. Now, how does your GPA affect you personally, apart from looking nice on your transcript or looking not nice on your transcript, right? In order to remain in good standing, your semester GPA must be greater than or equal to 2. Right? In our example before, you saw that hypothetical student, their GPA was 2.67. So they would be in good standing for the semester. If your semester GPA is less than 2, then your academic standing will be warning, basically on probation, and you get a dean's hold. That means you can't just go ahead and register for courses. You have to get special advising. You have to get your dean's hold have to be removed, and then you'll be able to take courses again. You also will be limited to a lower course load as well, so that you can, in other words, we want to give you every opportunity to improve that GPA back to good standing. Because if you get your semester GPA in the following semester is again less than 2, you will be required to withdraw. What does that mean? You will have to leave the university for a year at least before you are able to reapply for entry and return to continue your study. Right? So the warning point is where we're trying to catch and prevent the continued, we want to improve back to good standing, which is one of the reasons why we insist on you doing a lower course load if you're on warning. But we are hoping that, if it happens, it happens. But make sure you are putting the things in place to address it so that you can go forward back to good standing and not to RTW. I mentioned that honors or your degree GPA will determine the class of honors. This is kind of, so if you are for first class honors, you would need your degree GPA would have to be between 3.6 and 4.3, and the others as you see. Notice there's no degree honors below pass, because under a degree GPA of 2, you are not graduating. All right. So it's important to note that if your GPA is less than 2, you don't leave, even if you've passed all your courses. And yes, it is possible for you to have a degree GPA less than 2 and that you have passed all your courses. But in that case, you would have to take more courses to try and raise your GPA above 2. So we try again to avoid that as well. Now, the third, because you notice we had, we had 3 types of GPA, right? The semester GPA, which determines your academic standing, your honors or degree GPA, which determines your class of honors, and whether or not you graduate at all. And then we have the cumulative GPA, and that affects your GATE. All right. In order for you to qualify for GATE funding, your cumulative GPA, the GPA for all your courses at the end of the year, must be greater than or equal to 2. If it is less than 2, you will not qualify for GATE, and you will have to raise your GPA up to 2 in order to be able to apply for GATE in the future. All right. So your GPA, as I said, now, why it's important you are familiar with all these terms is that you will see all of these numbers at the bottom of your transcript. And if you're looking at the wrong number and saying, yeah, my GPA is good, I'm gonna have no problems with GATE, and it turns out you're watching the wrong number, you're gonna have problems, right? So just be familiar with the vocabulary of GPA, right? Because each of the different types affects different aspects of your career here with us. All right, so you don't want to be in that position, right? If you need GATE, it's unfortunate if you have to put things on hold because you cannot afford to return. Now, again, to do with GPAs, I just mentioned the Dean's Honor Roll, which is awarded annually and is there to recognize the students who have high GPAs. In order to be eligible for the Dean's Honor Roll, you need to have your semester GPA for the 2 semesters in the year. Both have to be above or equal to 3.6. So basically you're looking at students who are sort of on the first class end of the honors roll. Right, so this is a nice thing to have. You can put it on your resume. It looks really good, and you get big up in the faculty as well. Now, there's going to be a lot of information coming at you over the next couple of weeks. If you don't remember something, these things certainly this presentation is being recorded. But if you have a question, ask it, right? And not just about academics. Well, that's important to administration as well. How do you contact us? You can either email if you have to write an actual letter, because sometimes in some situations you have to write a letter. Please do include very useful information, right? In any email you send to the faculty, put your ID number, right? Think of it like your name. You write your name at the end, yours, Denise Beckles, I put my ID number, 816, da, 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 da. Because believe it or not, there are people who will have your same name who are not you. So I personally have had a situation where students looking for the student's information, and there's 2 David Narines in FST, and I have to figure out which David Narine I'm dealing with, right? So put your ID number, and please always use your UE email address for any correspondence with the university. Generally, the university is not going to action or give you or create or do anything if you're emailing outside of your UE email address. Now, you might say, well, why I can't just use my Gmail? It works just as well. Yes, it will work, but bear in mind, this is actually a security feature. All right. I could go, let me choose somebody. Amara Smith, I just saw your name. I could go on Gmail right now and create an account, amarasmith@gmail.com. Gmail not going to stop me. And then I'm going to come and email the faculty and say, Amara Smith, I want to change, my name is Amara, I want to change my program from whatever to whatever, or I want to change to part-time, or I want to withdraw from the college. Right? In order for the university to have a clue that it's really Amara Smith requesting all of these things, you need to use your UE email address. All right, so we are not going to be able to action anything that you want to do unless it comes in from your UE email address, because the Gmails could be anyone. And then what happens? We action the Gmail address request, and then Amara is like, come on, and start to cuss something. All right, so help us to help you. Make sure you use your UE email address. And 2, ID numbers. If you need to send an email, to who are you going to send it? As I said, myself, Denise Beckles. Please do not send it to denise.beckles@sta.ua.edu. I try to keep my Denise Beckles chemistry lecturer hat and my Denise Beckles deputy dean hat separate, because I check the deputy dean's things and I'm doing deputy dean things. And if you put it in my other email, I may get to it, but I might not. All right. So if you have a deputy dean matter, fstdeputydean.ug. Right. You also have access to the stellar team in the Student Services Unit. Mrs. Tarasuku has been answering questions. So I can see her fingertips burning, the amount of typing she's doing in the chat. and also the secretary as well, Ms. Lisa Finch. So if you come into the office, the person you'll run into is Ms. Finch. And if you need further information, you may have to run into Ms. Suko. And then if you need further information, you might have to run to me. But generally, those two ladies can handle just about any query you might have. So and let me just point out, I know that you guys are young and you're the digital natives and that whole thing and email and text and whatnot. A lot of times I have students tell me, well, they run into problems. And why? Because they kept sending emails and they never got no response. And now that's why 3 months later I have this problem. For God's sake, people, if you send an email and a week later no response, go to the people in their office and ask a question, right? You're on the campus. Use your legs. Walk into the office. All right? I don't want to hear about you waiting for a response for 3 months. I don't want to hear that. All right? Yes, it's easier to send an email, but sometimes emails get lost. Right? So get up on your feet. Everybody have their mine died, my thing watch. But your phone is in your pocket, so you're getting your steps and tracking your steps. Take some steps. Go to the office, ask a question. All right? And take that control for yourself. So that is a little bit of information about the university's programs and FST's programs, the FST structures. So now what? All right. Also a little bit of information about some very important university regulations, like the GPAs and so on as well. So now what for you? All right. After this session, go to FST's webpage. All right, so if you go to the UE webpage and you scroll down a little bit, you will see a link for FST on the side. Or you can use this handy dandy link right here. All right, go to the webpage. Because what you want to do is get to the new undergrad student information. All right, which you can get either through clicking on that link at the top of the page or through the Students Corner. There'll be a link for new undergrad students as well. So when you click there, this is what you're going to see. Welcome to your first year at FSC. And you see there's a whole bunch of information down at the bottom of that page, which I don't have on the screen, but those 4 buttons right at the top, those are the ones that are going to control. The next couple of weeks, you're going to be spending a lot of time there. First thing to do when you go across there, go to the new student checklist. Press that first button. What you're going to get is something looking like this. The roadmap. This is where you are right now. This now will show you all of the steps that you need to take in order to go from being just an accepted person to being a registered student. All right, and it's not straightforward as you see. This is a wiggly road. So we have some stops to help make sure you get going and get to where you need to go in the appropriate way. So we are here today, faculty orientation, right? So I'm giving you big picture stuff. For the rest of this week, it's going to be departmental orientations, where you are going to be getting information specific to your departments, right? That's going to help you be able to fill out your academic advising form. And while you're waiting for that to be sorted, you can go to Fresh Start, which is the meeting that the dean is going to have with you all in August. After all of that, then you'll be able to actually register for your courses. Then, of course, you have to pay your fees, see your timetable, and at that point, you'll be ready to take your first class. All right, so you see there's a lot of steps along the way. Between faculty and department orientations, however, they will help you sort out exactly what you need to get from 1 to 9 in with your mind intact. All right. Note that most things on this are clickable and will carry you to specific information that will help you as well. All right. So I mentioned the timetable. That is also available on that same new students webpage. Right at the front, you just scroll down a little bit further to the bottom and you will see timetable. So you can, because the timetable, believe it, it's not that straightforward to figure out. So you would probably need to use that as well. So then the next thing you want to do is, after you take a look at the checklist, you want to take a look at the academic advising guides. That's the second button. Now, this is where you're going to be telling you what courses you are going to be taking. So look at your acceptance letter and see what it says. You have been accepted to read BSc Biology major, right? Or you've expected to read Environmental Science and Sustainable Technology special, right? So if you have a major, you're going to be clicking that top button. If your letter says special, you're going to be clicking the bottom. All right. We're leaving out the middle button for now. All right. Because your letter will have only one major and one special. So if you are a major, remember your offer letter, your acceptance letter will just say mathematics full stop. And that means you're going to be clicking the major. If you see special after your program name, that means you're doing a special, you'll be clicking the special button. So as an example, let's look at the major. When you click that button, this is what's going to come up, right? This is the first page. There's more than one. But what you're seeing is that this has a complete list of the courses you need to take for semester 1, depending on your program. So if I'm a chemist, so I'm always going to use chemistry examples. I'm 100% biased. I'm not unbiased whatsoever. So if you're doing BSc chemistry, you would look and see there's BSc chemistry in the middle, and you see exactly what courses you need to take, right? There's no guesswork. It tells you exactly what you need to do. If you're doing BSc computer science major, exactly what you need to do. And it also has for semester 2 as well, just for your information, but you don't need that now. What you need is the first button, the first bubbles. There's also all this there's information about the foundations on the side, and then there's all the information about the various things that you need to know as well when you're choosing your courses at the bottom. Now, if you have electives, like for example, as I said, with the chemistry, it says you have to do Chem 1066, Chem 1070, your foundation or foreign language course, and 2 additional level 1 courses. So you need Chem 1066, Chem 1070, a foundation of foreign language, and 2 elective level 1 courses. And this page will also have information about possible electives you can choose to do. All right. And if you are special, you will be getting the special, you will click the special options, and it will have a very similar format with the different special options and the courses you need to take. All right. Now, remember one of the options I had mentioned for your BSc general people is that you could have 2 majors. Many years ago, you could have chosen 2 majors at the start. You would have come in with 2 majors. But that's not how it is now. So you come in with 1, and if you want to add a second one, you can. Now, you will need to know what courses to take. So let's say you come in with biology and you think you would like to also have a major in chemistry. You would want to click then the double major button. If you're not planning to do 2 majors, then no, you don't click button. But if you think you might want to do 2 majors, yes, click that button. Why? Because this will show you what courses you will need to take for some common popular double majors. Very common ones, for example, biology and chemistry, or biochemistry and chemistry. So if that is in your mind, you would want to come here, and then you see the bubble in the middle, which says exactly what courses you need to take if you want to do those 2. This is important because you need to prepare for the advanced courses now. If you think you want to do advanced courses in chemistry, you need to do the introductory courses in chemistry now. If you think you want to do chemistry and biology, you need to have the introductory courses for chemistry and biology now, so you can do the advanced courses in chemistry and biology later. So that is why, if you're thinking along those lines, it's important that you check out this list so you'll know what courses you need to register for. All right. So tomorrow, well, actually, no, not yes, tomorrow and the rest of the week is departmental orientations. All right. So that is where you're going to get specific information about important stuff for your program in your department. All right. Now, I mentioned that you might want to add a major, right? Because you're coming in with one major. So you are thinking, well, okay, then I listened to this, and then certainly after you go to your departmental orientations, you might decide you want to make a change from what you have. Unfortunately, we cannot make any official changes until after semester one. So right now, you cannot make a change. However, we would still need to know your plans so we can guide you appropriately. Okay? So if your acceptance letter says BSc Mathematics major, right, or BSc Mathematics, and you decide you would like to add computer science, no problem, eh? It's just that you cannot do it officially until after semester one. So until the end of this, until after the semester is done. But at the same time, as I mentioned before, if you want to add something, you need to be sure you are prepared for it. And so in your academic advising, online academic advising form, there's going to be an opportunity to let us know that you do want to make a change. Again, let me make it clear, we cannot do the change. We have to prepare for the change. All right, we have to prepare now, so you'll be prepared to do the courses that you need to do advanced later. All right, so when you're filling out your online form, and your departments are going to go through this form in greater detail, you need to fill it out according to what is in the acceptance letter, right? So even if you want to make a change, the form has to go as is in your letter. All right, but there's going to be a page where they're going to ask you about your program change intention. Do you want to make a change? If you do, you click yes. It will send you to another page, and I'll show that in a moment. If you don't, if you're good with what you have, click no, go ahead. Next year, if you change your mind, no problem. This is not set in stone. This is not stopping you from changing your mind in the future. All right. But if at this moment you might want to make a change of some kind, at the end of semester one, you will indicate that on your academic advising form so that we can be informed. If you say yes, you would like to make a change, there are three kind of changes that we generally going to want to see. You're going to keep the major you have on your letter, but you want to add a second. So you want to end up with a double major. If that's the case, you would click yes and put what is your current major current major in your acceptance letter, and then put what you want to add on. So my letter says chemistry, but I would like to do chemistry and biology. So in the second column, I put chemistry and biology. All right. But what if that's not what you want? What if you want to change your major altogether? Then you would click yes here. I want to have a major in, my letter says major in physics, but I want to do mathematics instead. So I put that. All right. Again, bear in mind, you're going to still have to do the physics courses, right? Because you can't change yet, but you will have to add on the mathematics ones. So you'll be prepared to switch to maths at the end of the semester. If you want to change from a major to a special, or a special to a major, or a special to another special, you'll click the bottom one and say what you have on your letter, say what you like to do. And then we can, so this will give us information. So if necessary, we can target you specifically and have a chat, because not every change is straightforward, particularly if you are accessing it, right? So this will be, this little blue table is going to be on your academic advising form that you're going to see. As I said, your departments are going to help you with that. More information about the academic advising process in your departmental orientations. Now, important thing to remember, I'm going to say it again. We cannot change officially until after semester 1. Now, if y'all are, as I said, digital natives, you'll go on the faculty webpage, you'll see there's a lovely button that says change your degree option. Yeah, you could fill out the form. But since all those forms come to me, if I see you're level 1, I will deny. Right? So don't try. It just makes me extra work for me. And you're still able to get through. If you try to go through the admissions office, they're gonna tell you, they're gonna forward it to me. Right? So it all comes to me. So just don't try to change anything until after semester 1 and all will be well. Now, a big stop. If you are GATE funded, all right? This is important because GATE does have restrictions about changing. They're very concerned about that they are not paying money for you to do, and then you change your program on a whim, and now you have more courses to do, and they're paying and paying. All right, and that's fair. All right, this is my taxpayer dollars going to pay you. It's not freeness, right? It's tax. My taxes are paying for you to be here. So be aware that GATE will not fund unlimited program changes. Right? So it doesn't mean you can't change, but if you're changing, you might find yourself having to pay back funds already paid to you or to UE on your behalf. Right? So just be aware of that. So what does that mean for you personally? Think carefully before you request a change of program, which is of course going to happen at the end of semester 1. Think carefully. I've had situations where persons made changes and then suddenly realize they want to do something else, and now GATE is telling them, no, you're done, have your one chance to change, and now you can't change. You don't want to be that person, especially if you are 100% GATE. You have to think super carefully about this, and we unfortunately cannot advise you about GATE. So GATE matters need to be addressed. If you have a really heavy question about GATE, that has to go to the GATE office. We are not going to give you advice about GATE because GATE changes their things regularly and we're not aware of what those changes are. So I would rather not tell you anything than tell you the wrong thing, right? But what I can tell you, GATE does not fund unlimited program changes. So you can't change your program every Sunday morning. Think carefully before you make that change. Now, the next thing after you take a look at the undergraduate checklist and the academic advising guides is going to be the online academic advising form. This form is going to look like this if you go and click on that now, because it will not be open until 2 p.m. on Friday of this week, right? The reason for that is we do not want everyone rushing off to fill out forms and they have not done their orientations. And don't say, no, that wouldn't be me. Oh, yes, it is. As soon as those forms get open, people get they think blood rush up in their head and they rush out. They don't know what they don't know what they're doing, but they're filling out form. All right? No. Orientation sessions first for all departments. And after physics, which I believe is the last one on Friday morning, the orientation, the academic advising form will open and you'll be able to fill it out. And your departments are going to go through that form and show you how to do it so that you do it correctly, because that will minimize your stress and all stress and the length of time it takes you to actually get registered. Now, last but not least, after you go through the academic advising form and be approved for registration, you then have to actually register. All right? The academic advising form thing does not register you. That whole process is to make sure you are going to register for the correct things. The registration itself happens elsewhere, but if you click on this button, the registration guide, this is just the front page and the contents. This explains in excruciating details about how to actually register for your course, how to sign into the student portal, which is where you get access to everything, your registration, paying your fees, getting your email, getting your transcript, everything you need to do as a student is there. Then what is the registration process? How to actually add a course, how to drop a course, how to print your fee sheet, how to pay your fees, how to get overrides if you need to, how to delete a request, everything, right? So, and if you click there, it will open up the guide, and the guide has pictures of screenshots so you can see exactly what you should be seeing on the screen as you go. The one thing I will say, as if there's to remember about registration, guys, make sure by checking your transcript that you are registered for what you think you're registered for. And if you drop a course, check your transcript and make sure it's dropped. Up to yesterday, I have a student who thought he's sure he dropped a course online, but the course still there. And what that means for you is, one, it will be if you register for a course, expect you to take the test, and if you don't take the test, that's F3. You get 0 in the course. Problems for your GPA. That is fairly easy to fix. The other problem, however, is you will be asked to pay for a course you didn't take. Because as far as the university is concerned, you were registered for 12 weeks. And so you need to pay for the 12 weeks. Right? And his thing to me is, I thought it was registered. I thought I had dropped it. Don't think about those things. Be sure. So if you're making any changes to your registration, you always want to, maybe a day or two later, go back and look at your record. See if the course you thought you dropped was dropped. See if the course you thought was added. Don't assume. I mean, no shade to the computer science people, but technology is not always our friend. You know what I'm saying, all right? So you have to double check. And the university's systems are no different from any system, right? So make sure you do that check-in, because it can be problematic. You could find yourself, I've had situations where students show up for exams and they're not actually registered. Why? They thought they were registered. They didn't check. Or the opposite, as I said, my friend here who thought he deregistered, he dropped the course, but turns out it isn't. So now we're looking at having to pay for a course he never took. All right, so don't let that be you. If nothing else I say here, you need to keep on top of your programs, your systems, your stuff. And if you have a question or if you're not sure, don't stick. Ask. So with that, we all look forward. And I mean, I know sometimes students feel like we get great joy from seeing you all fail and not get to. Absolutely not. We like nothing more than seeing people dressed in robes. I have to say, graduations and weddings are some of my favorite things, because there's so much love in the room at graduation. You have all the family members, your parents, your aunties, your grandparents, everybody's so proud of you. The love in it is unbelievable. So we want you to be graduating. We want you to graduate on time. So academically, you need to speak to your department to help you with that. Administratively, you need to be coming to the dean's office to help you if you have problems with that. One thing I will mention here, I really should have put in a slide. I will think about that for the future. There are also a wide variety of support systems. I know departments will talk about this too, but I'll mention it here as well. There are a wide variety of support systems that are available to you free of charge, or not really free. You pay for it with your tuition, right? But no additional cost to you. That will help support you to get through. So things like health services. You have access to health services here on campus. Psychological services, so counseling, as well as I know the university has fairly recently, also have on staff a psychiatrist, as well as counselors and psychologists, right? So persons to help you with your mental fitness, just like your lecturers help you with your academic fitness. There are persons on the campus who can help you with your mental fitness, which does play a major role in people's performance and their success. And we want to make sure that you have access. If you have concerns about finance and you need to look for funding, there's a financial aid office that can help you find ways to get bursaries, to get scholarships, or jobs on campus to help you, the usual. But if you're not aware, you might not know that those things exist. Yes, if you have special needs, for example, things like if you might be dyslexic or have some other issue that requires you to get some help in an examination or during the semester, um, the student services office can help put you in connect, fix you up, search you up. Basically, as I said, we want to make sure that we give you all the support so that you can perform to the best of your ability. So bear in mind that it's not just academic or administrative. We also have that social aspect in the middle, which affects all. And again, as I mentioned, there's a lot of support out there for you as well as, and you've paid for it already, so you might as well take full advantage. Don't hesitate to take full advantage of it. All right. So that office, by the way, is the Division of Student Services and Development, DSSD for short. So you can look for them on the webpage if you would like to see what they have to offer. They also run like the World of Work program for graduating students to help you get familiar with how to do the work, be out there and they help with career placements and resume guidance and all kinds of other stuff to help you be the best person you can be when you leave. So I think from the dean's office, your departments, and the other university offices, there's a lot of support. So don't feel afraid. Don't hesitate. Come and check us. We're happy to help. And with that, I come to the end of my presentation. I hope you enjoy your UA experience. I'm not sure if it was Professor Ransubag who spoke about the networking. Your network here, people at UA are everywhere. So the friends you make here, these are the people who, if you need a little help, there, some navigating some government office or some corporate system, there's going to be somebody from UE who is going to be able to help you. So definitely don't negate or don't neglect the fun stuff, the clubs, and you'll be hearing from the chemistry club and so on. The various clubs you'll be hearing from them in the orientations when you come for first year experience. The clubs will be out there on the campus. You can meet people, make those networks, enjoy yourself, because very soon you're going to be working and it's going to be less. I would say not enjoyable, but certainly not as free flowing. So with that, I'm finished with my presentation. I know the questions have been asked, been coming thick and fast, and I know that everybody has been getting. Okay, so as for the orientations, I know at least chemistry for sure is doing an in-person orientation. I don't know if they're being filmed. I don't think so. We'll have to see what we can do. All right, now in terms of when the various things are being done, remember that new student page, that's where all of that information is going to be. Right? The new student checklist. Yeah? So the checklist has clickable links, which will have all the information about the dates of the advising, the locations, if it's going to be online, not online, etc. Right? So that link is going to be helpful. Tyler, yes, computer science and management students as well, because you are part of the Department of Computing and Information Technology. Yes, if you're not able to make any particular orientation, or go check your department. Dominic, definitely. Even if your acceptance has not quite come through yet, um, even if you're not sure, come anyway. Then that way you'll have gotten your information. All right. Letitia, go ahead. I see your hand is up. Yeah, if you can't make your orientation, I would advise, if at all possible, make every effort. If it's not possible, obviously, if you're in another country, well, if you can't make it, when you do get to Trinidad, go to your department, regardless of which, and speak to them. Bear in mind, and also, if you're thinking about doing a double major, so you're thinking about doing chemistry and biology, you should go to both orientations. All right. So even if it's in your mind that you might want to do two, um, go to both departments.
Hi, good morning, Miss. Good morning to everyone else on the Zoom call. So I just have a quick question, right? About 5 years ago, I would have started a degree. However, I did not finish the degree, but one of the courses that I would have completed was Caribbean Civilization, and I did pass. Would I be able to be exempted from that course now or not because I waited because it was so long ago?
Okay, with respect to that, it would depend on how long ago it was. If it was more than 5 years ago, the likelihood is they will probably tell you no. You can make the request. You can ask to have it be transferred to your new program.
Yeah,
But if
it was definitely more than 5 years ago because I believe it was 2018, 2019, 2018, around there.
Yeah, if that's the case, then you could still try. But I would say be prepared to get told no.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
No problem. Um, Adi, you can withdraw your acceptance if you wish, but your acceptance generally the university will not withdraw it. But if you've accepted an offer and you don't want to do it anymore, of course you may withdraw. That you can withdraw yourself. Tyler, no, we don't have classes in the evening in FSD. The most you might have is a lab that runs until about 6. Or sometimes, there might be special events that the school will have, you might want to come on campus for the evening and so on, but no classes in the evening. Okay, Letitia, apparently you should be able to speak now.
Yeah, Miss, I got through just now.
Oh, that was you. Okay.
Yes,
So who's
yes.
Okay.
Hi, good morning. I have a question from tomorrow. It have the chemistry meeting. Is it from 10 a.m. to a certain time or we have to be there for 10 a.m.?
It's the chemistry session will be from 10 to 12.
Okay, so we could come. Okay, so for 10 a.m. Okay, thanks.
Satisha, you cannot do a double major with biology with specializations and geography because biology with specializations is a special program. Does not allow for double majors. If you wish to do geography and biology, that is possible, but you would have to do biology major, and then you could have a second major, which would be geography. Linda, certainly there's support within the faculty for getting the administrative stuff sorted, but with respect to like help with lectures and so on, you would obviously have to get that from the relevant faculty. We can help you with academic support for courses outside of it. Kimiko, I'm not sure about the deferrals. That is a question. I don't know if somebody else might be able to answer that. But if not, admissions can, I think you can defer. but you would have to check with admissions. Ria, if you have completed your courses and it doesn't say in your letter specifically, what you may have to do is request that that depending on what kind of offer you got, you might be able to ask to have those courses carried forward, the credits be carried forward. Right? So basically you'll be requesting exemptions with credit. If it isn't on your letter, you can ask. Samir, yes, the presentation is going to be posted. It will be on the faculty's webpage. Tamia, if you are working 8 to 4, you're going to have to be part-time because there's no way you're going to be able to make the amount of hours you would have to be out of your job. You're likely to have problems. Bear in mind that, as I said in my presentation, we don't offer evening classes. So anyone who is working full-time, there's no way to work full-time doing two things. So what you would also need to do, one is do part-time at UE, and two, make sure you have a firm commitment from your employer to let you off when you need to be let off, because your classes and labs and whatnot are going to be during the day. You might be able to arrange things so that you minimize I know what students tend to do, they try to stack as much stuff on one day as possible, so that if they could maybe only have to take 2 half days off or something like that, as opposed to spreading it all over the week and then they have problems. But that is something you and your employer, anyone also here who is also employed or thinking about getting employment, make sure you have some firm arrangement with your employer and not just a sort of verbal understanding. I would recommend something written, because otherwise you could find yourself in some challenges. Sada, yes, there will be people floating around to answer questions. There will be people guiding you to be signs and so on, so you get to your room. Amanda, you would have to check with Gate. I really can't tell you about what their policy is with respect to if you withdraw and what happens after that. Rajiv, yes, you can switch your major and do all kinds of things after the first semester. Yes. Okay, question about the making up of the credit segment. All right, so Jazzy, if you have a major in information technology, that will be 30 advanced credits there. The other 30 credits you can make up from either one, another major, two minors, three, a minor and 5 electives, or 4, 10 electives. So whichever of those floats your boat is, you are welcome to choose. You have a lot of flexibility. Daniel, yes, the timetables should be relatively very quickly. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, question from Jaden about the foundation courses and the foreign language courses. We encourage students to do the foreign language and the foundation courses in the first year for a couple of reasons. One, because there's actually space in the program then. If, however, you are not able to do your foreign language course, let's say in your first semester, you can do it in the second semester of your first year, or you could do it at any other time in your 3 years here with us. It doesn't mean that you must do it in your first year. It just, from a scheduling perspective, it works better if you can do as many as you can in your first year. But it's not required. Vijay, yes, it is absolutely necessary to attend your department's orientation. Now you cannot go. I mean, there are people who will be not in Trinidad, but I would say that you are likely doing yourself a disservice at the start. If you can make it and you don't. If you cannot make it, well, you can't make it, and you will have to make up for it with going to a department separately. But I think you will. I think you'll be doing yourself a disservice if you. Princess, yes, you can do foundation courses and foreign language courses during the summer. But do bear in mind that summer courses are not paid for by GATE. So if you want to do a course in the summer, you will have to fund that out of pocket. Tamia, finishing the degree for part-time is a maximum of 6 years. Supposed to be a maximum of 10 years. So you're supposed to be between 6 and 10. Basically, it's twice the time frame for the usual full-time students. So a full-time student would be expected to finish in 3 years, but they have up to a maximum of 5. So the part-times would be twice. With respect to things like IDs and so on, that is outside of the faculty, right? That's university matters. So we can't help you with those kind of things. But when you go to your first year experience, they will give you all that information about how to get access to library and ID and all the other university systems that you need. Right. Some of the foundations, so Found 1105 and Found 1301 are only offered in semester 2 during the semester. But however, they are usually offered in the summer as well. One point to note about summer courses, however, and this is important for you all while you're making your planning. Summer courses may or may not run depending on enrollment. A summer course is not going to run if they have less than 15 people in the class. So it's important to note that, because if you make a plan that I'm going to do this course in my last summer semester, it could be that it don't run and then you find yourself in a. So with summer, bear in mind, it's on the books. People can register for it, but if they don't get 15 bodies in the seats, they will cancel the course. That's how it works with summer for sure. All right, so just bear in mind when you're doing your planning. So in other words, what I would say to you is best not to leave an essential course for your last summer. All right, so the first time you do an essential course shouldn't be the last summer, because you could find yourself in a bit of a hole. Matthew, also do note there's all kinds of stuff going on campus as well. Lots of first year stuff. So pay attention to those emails from DSSD, because there'll be lots of things going on campus where you might want to come, and they might have some kind of seminar, they might have Guild Fest and all those kinds of things going on as well. So you wouldn't want to miss those, but teaching does not start until the 2nd. Roger, as I mentioned, if you cannot make for whatever reason, when you arrive, you will need to go to your department for assistance. Jordan, yes. This is a common misconception that you will get an exemption from doing Foundation 1105 if you have a good grade in communications. Regardless of what your grade in communications is, you must do Found 1105. The only thing that your grade in communications does for you is it allows you to avoid doing the ELPT test. So if you have a grades 1 or 2 in communications, you don't have to do the ELPT test. In other words, you don't have to do the diagnostic test before the foundation, but you still have to do the foundations. There are no exceptions for the foundations. The only one is the foreign language requirement. Mystique, you cannot do anything and bachelor's at the same time. So as you will not be able to do pre-law and be doing BSc at the same time. You're either doing a pre-program like pre-law, pre-eng, pre-science, or you're doing a bachelor's. They will not allow you to do the two at the same time. Nathan, generally I would say yes, you should go. You'll probably find out things you didn't know before. Why is everybody asking if it's necessary to attend the orientations? You all want to cause me stress and harassment. That's what you want because you, Vijay, I don't remember your name. I don't want to see you in my office because you forget something, you miss out something, you didn't realize something, right? Yes, it's required to attend the orientation session, right? Because you all don't want to come and then you want to come and tell us later you didn't know, right? Yes, there'll be a biology orientation, Kezia. That is the Department of Life Sciences. All right, so biology, so Department of Life Sciences will be biology, biochemistry, environmental science and sustainable technologies, and biology with specializations. Right, so all of those persons doing those programs, you are under Department of Life Sciences. So you would want to go to their orientation. For physics, it would be if you're doing the majors in physics, electronics, and the special in biomedical technologies. Those are the physics programs. So you will want, so if you're doing any of those, you're going to be having orientation with physics. The maths is going to be actuarial science, mathematics, major and special, statistics and economics. Those are the maths people. Chemistry is chemistry and chemistry and management. And then DCIT, which is computing and information technologies, that's going to be your computer science, information technology, and computer science with management. If you are not able to attend your orientation, then you will need to go to your department when you do come on campus. Form 1105, no. In order to get the exemption from the ELPT, you must have a grade 1 in English A for CSEC. Aiden, no. The reason why you cannot do both Form 1101 and the foreign language requirement. If you are eligible, if you have the foreign language exemption requirements, in other words, you have a 1 to 3 in CSEC foreign language or 1 to 5 in CAPE foreign language, they will not allow you to do the FLR courses because they are quite limited in terms of the number of students need to take them and the number of spaces that they have. So they will not, so if you already have that, they will not allow you to take it because there will be definitely people who have to do it and need that spot. Jordan, the ELPT test, the English language proficiency test, that is like a qualifying test so that they figure you are able to handle Form 1105. So there's also that is run by the Faculty of Humanities and Education, and they also have like a little workshop that they run to help you prepare. If you don't have to do the workshop because that is extra, you have to pay for that. But they will provide you with a package of material and that will help you prepare yourself. And if you wish, you could also take the workshop to help you prepare for that test. Smira, anybody doing biology with specializations, that is a special degree. So no, you will not be able to do any major, minor, or anything like that with it. I'm not familiar with the program, so I can't tell you whether electives are possible. It may be that you might be able to do electives. I don't know. That is why you need to go to your departmental orientations so that you will get all that information specific to your department and your program. Jaden, yes, once you've completed your foundation courses, you don't have to do them again. There are only three of them. So either 3 foundations or 2 foundations and a foreign language. Once you do them, you're done. Damien, if you need to do ELPT, I would recommend you go check out the Faculty of Humanities and Education's website. There's a section there on the ELPT. I have not seen, as usually they will put well in advance, they will put notifications there about when the next one is, when to register, when the next workshop is. I have not seen it up yet for the next one, but it will probably be up very soon. But that's where you will check on that. And Jali, if you have the exemption for foreign language requirement, no, you do not need to do anything. It will be automatically sorted out for you. Let me just make a point here, actually, because I got a couple of questions about this last year, so I might as well make the point. If you are exempted from the FLR, so let's say you have a pass in C6 Spanish, so you do not have to do the foreign language requirement. What is going to happen is that on your transcript, you will still see the foreign language show up. Don't be afraid. That doesn't mean you have to do the foreign language. When you look at it, it will say Span 1007, beginner Spanish 1, and then the grade will be EC, meaning exempt with credit. So in other words, it will be there on your transcript, but because you're exempt, you don't have to do it. But it still has to show up on your transcript so that your record is complete. All right, I did get a couple of questions about that last year. And since Foundation 1105 is required for all students, everyone must take Foundation 1105. Nobody gets exempted from that course. Joshua, if you're doing a BSc in biochemistry, that is a major. If it was a special, it would say BSc biochemistry and special in brackets after. If you don't see a special in brackets, that is a major. Biochemistry, by the way, does not offer a special. So biochemistry only comes in the major flavor. Denilson, BMET orientation is during the physics department. It's with physics, and that's on Friday. All right. There are a couple of, if you scroll through the chat, there's a couple of links showing the guide where you can get information, the steps for what's going on. Right. All right, bear in mind, guys, you're asking, so I've seen a question here about the shuttle service. Remember, we cannot tell you direct information about the shuttle service because we do not deal with the shuttle service. So you need to bear in mind that there's university services and then there's faculty services. Faculty services, you could ask us any question, we can help you right away. If it's a university service, all we could do is point you to the university website because we don't deal with the shuttle. All right. And thankfully, I see Ms. Finch has provided the shuttle service link. October the 9th. Good day. Good day. All right. That's a very good day. That's my birthday. So the next sitting of ELPT is on my birthday. So y'all will all pass. October the 9th, 2025. Jordan, no, I don't share the PowerPoint just because there's a lot of animations in it. So if I share the PowerPoint, it will not look like how it looks on the screen. So yes. Naeem, with respect to the math 1115 and 1125, that's only exempted if you have passes in pure mathematics, CAPE Unit 1 and 2. If you do not, you still have to do math 115 and 1125. Okay. So it looks like most of the questions have kind of wound down. I know there was a lot of typing that went on. Bear in mind, the the recording will be available. Okay. Nathaniel, yes, you would register it for during registration, but bear in mind, Form 1105 is not offered in semester one. So you would not be able to take that course now. You would have to take it in semester two once you're eligible. Naeem, well, yes, if you have both, if you have 2 months in Cape Pure Maths, you can apply for exemption and credit from 1115 and 1120. Shamel, okay, Vijay, you are no. Everyone must do Form 1105. There's no exemption from 1105. You must do it. The purpose of the ELPT is to determine is like a prerequisite. So either you have the communications from CAPE or the CSEC grade 1 in English A, then you could take Form 1105. If you don't have one of those, then you have to take ELPT, pass it, and then you'll be eligible to do Form 1105. The booklets usually are online. And when you go to your classes as well, your first course, your first lecture, they will go through the syllabus and so on, and we'll talk about the booklets. Right. Oh, I see there, Karuna has posted the new student checklist. That link is going to be very helpful to you. You want that. Ashmita, if you have passes in math 0100 and math 0200, you can ask for exemption from math 1115. The N1 mathematics is equivalent to the Cape Pure Mathematics. And C, yes, the foreign language course, if you need to take it, you would register for it just like every other course. Manoj, yes. If you do not have any prior foundation foreign language experience, you are doing Form 1301, Form 1105, and the foreign language requirement. Academic advising starts now because it'll be going this whole week. But the form will become available on Friday at 2 p.m. Tamia, no one is exempted from 1105. Everyone must take that course. Even if you have a good communications grade. What your good communications grade will do for you is that it will allow you to take Form 1105 directly. You can just register for it when it's available. Princess, departments organize advisors. Jaden, yes, you can get exemption. There's a form that you will fill out for exemptions with credits. All right, and I think there was a link that goes through there. But when that time comes, you can ask that question at your department as well. Yes, chemistry's advising is tomorrow. Most unfortunately, I will not be there because I have a workshop that I'm moderating. It's very unfortunate, but it is tomorrow. From 1101, the only thing that I wouldn't say you're exempt from 1101 is if you need to take a foreign language requirement, you do not take Form 1101. It's not really exempted. Right? Okay, so again, here are the links for all of the orientations. Joshua, yeah, look at that link. It's right up there. So everybody, all the information is there. If there is a Zoom link, All right, so they will. So if you have a Zoom link, it means you have a online orientation. If you have a if you have a classroom, that means you have an in-person. Right? So you can take a look and make sure. So let me say farewell. All right. The recording will be available on the faculty's webpage. You will find it in the new student section of the faculty's webpage. It will not be there instantly. Obviously, there will need to be some massaging of the video, but it will be there. And if you have any concerns, you are not able to go to your orientation, wherever, go to your department. If you're not sure which department you belong to, you can come to the dean's office and we will point you in the correct direction. All right. And then bear in mind that the online academic advising form will not be available until Friday. So do hold on until then, Friday afternoon, before you try to fill that out. And I hope that you'll have a wonderful first year. Don't be shy. Come into the office, send us a note if you're having any problems, and we will try to assist. Alrighty. Bye everyone.
Wanna go.